Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Hey Rail. So before I get started on this next video, I wanted to mention that my videos created here on Hey Rail are for both entertainment purposes as well as, trying to teach people a little bit of history or going through some history of the stuff that I've bought. So with that being said, I think viewers misunderstood the last Penn Central video I put out. It was a storyline. Basically, it was a story that I was doing on a railroad that was hated by a lot of people. I never said I hated the railroad. I just mentioned that a lot of people hated it. So, yeah, I have Penn Central trains. I'm going to buy more Penn Central trains because it is the transition railroad into Conrail. So I am a Conrail fan, so yes, I know there's other railroads besides Penn Central that Conrail had taken over. New York Central, Penn Central, Reading, I know all this. But I decided to focus these videos on Penn Central leading into Conrail because that's something that I want to do on my own layout. So that's why I'm only focused on this one railroad. Alright, so this next thing I want to touch on real quickly, I hope it helps out new channels on YouTube. So apparently there was a fan of the Penn Central who did not like my last Penn Central video. And they decided to leave a threatening comment on my channel. So, for those of you who ever get that, that happened to you or have that happen to you, don't back down, don't be afraid. There are things that you can do that are in place to turn that comment in. And that's exactly what I did. So I can't talk about that anymore, but, it was basically a threat against me for that video that I created. So that's being handled as of right now, and hopefully this helps out other YouTube channels that had that happen to them. So moving on, we're going to do a second Penn Central video. Yes, we're not backing down from Penn Central. We're going to do another Penn Central video, and this time it's going to be my Lionel MPC era Penn Central train, which is all semi-scale, 027. Everything on that train is MPC except for one car that I bought from Mecca, I think it was last year. And I absolutely seen it and loved it, and I said, wow, this would go great with my Penn Central train. Now, I call this Penn Central train the Emerald Express. Something I think that Lionel probably should have done in the MPC era. Make a Penn Central Emerald Express, but I created it on my own. So we're going to take a look at that right now. Okay, so up front leading this train is a Lionel MPC era GG1. The last time I showed a picture of this, people were asking me the stock number on this, and for those who don't know, Lionel always used the stock number as the road number on their MPC era trains for the most part. For most of the, I would say 90% of the time. So in this case, the stock number is 6-8850, which is basically the road number here we have is 8850. So GG1 locomotives were still running when I was a kid. So whenever we took a trip as a family out to Pennsylvania country, I got to see Amtrak GG1s operating. And they were fast. They were moving. And since I'm pulling freight, I know people are going to ask, did the GG1 actually pull freight cars? Absolutely. The GG1 had a ton of horsepower, but it didn't have a whole lot of takeoff power. So if the train was heavy, it would not be uncommon to see 2 or 3 GG1 locomotives lashed up together. Not because it needed the horsepower, but it needed the takeoff power. The GG1 had the ability to pull trains up to 100 miles an hour. It used overhead AC electric, and it was fed through a 22-position transformer. And it was paired to the traction motors, geared to a quill drive. It was rated for 100 miles an hour as a passenger locomotive and 90 miles an hour as a freight locomotive. The power output had a continuous 4,620 horsepower. That's just insane. In short bursts, or short durations, it could actually achieve 8,500 horsepower. The GG1 was built between 1934 and 1943. The first GG1 was run on January 28, 1935, and the last run of GG1 was actually October 29, 1983. Only 16 are preserved today. Even though 15 locomotives are preserved, none of them are operational. Their main transformers were removed because of PCBs in the insulating oil. At the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, you'll have Pennsylvania Railroad number 4800, which became Penn Central, and then, of course, Conrail. It was nicknamed Old Rivets due to it being the only GG1 to have been built with a riveted body. In 1971, 30 GG1s were transferred from the Penn Central to Amtrak. Now, since I'm running on Conahay Rail, I have to run with the pantographs down because there are tunnels and there is interference issues in those tunnels with the pantographs. I already verified that before I'm making this run, so I don't damage anything. Like I mentioned, this is a Lionel MPC era GG1. But basically, there's really not much difference between this and a post-war GG1. You still have a die-cast metal body. You still have dual motors. The way they made it is pretty much a copy of the post-war version. On my Conahay Rail videos, people are normally used to startup noises and bells and whistles and horns and crew talk. But this, we're talking about MPC era. This doesn't even have so much of a horn in it. So it just has, just a cool era locomotive, and I want to run it on Conahay Rail and stretch its legs out now that I have my Power Master installed. So I want to make sure I mention, if I didn't already, I can't remember, but the name Emerald Express is something that I came up with. So don't go researching past Lionel MPC catalogs for the Emerald Express, because there really is no such thing. It's just a name I made up. However, this locomotive here was available for separate sale. One thing I did want to make a quick mention on was this Union Carbide liquefied gases car. This is the newest rolling stock out of the whole train. This is the one piece that is not MPC. I believe I bought it 2 years ago. This is actually a Mecha custom run. And I seen it and I was like, wow, that's a perfect match for my Penn Central Emerald Express. And I had to have it and I bought it. And so now it rides the Emerald Express. For those of you who may not be familiar, Mecha does create special custom runs. They're usually very, very limited in the amount of production. And while they may be on the little expensive side, you're going to get a unique piece that not many people have. So, shout out to Mecha for creating and offering these custom runs. And also, you don't have to be a member to buy them, but it is recommended because it may sell out and you may not have a chance to get it if it's real popular. So as the public, you would only have the chance to buy it if none of the other members bought it. So basically, Mecha sells the leftovers. Now, you don't have to attend the Mecha show, although it's a great show. Mecha does go to a couple other events. They go to the TCA, and once in a while they'll go to the Greenberg show. They generally like to show up to the fall one. But at any rate, I recommend you stopping at the Mecha booth and checking out their custom runs, because they're always making something new and they are limited. I also wanted to mention there are two different Penn Central MPC air cabooses. The black one has lights in it, and the green one does not, has no lights in it. Okay, I'd like to thank you for watching another Dakman's video, and we'll catch you trackside. Goodbye.